Hello, I know that it is easy to get confused on what day it is, but I assure you, it is Wednesday, which means it is time for another episode of TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. We are still in the old comic book day sort of pattern, but that might change soon. Did you hear? Did you know? Starting next week, DC is going to be shipping out some new books. So we might have some new stuff to take a look at potentially. But that is getting ahead of ourselves. We need to talk about what happened today for Old Comic Book Day. What did I pick up? Oh, man. I have a great haul today. Let's start. We'll start easy. This is probably easy to predict. I got the last volume of Lock and Key, so Lock and Key Volume 6. So over the past few weeks, I've been picking up, I picked up like Volume 2, and I filled in those gaps. But I always got some Lock and Key leading up to needing the last volume of Volume 6. So I picked that up today from one of the shops. All right, not terribly exciting, but I can't be reading the 90s run of Aquaman, which I am, as you know, without also checking out the 90s run of what I will call Marvel's Aquaman. Namor, the Submariner, had a run that started in 1990 of, it was 62 issues and 4 annuals. So I reached out to my local comic shops, and it took 3 comic shops. But between those 3, oh buddy, I don't even know how to show this. Look at this stack. This is all Namor the Submariner starting 1990. It is the entire run except I'm missing 2 issues. 2 little issues between the 3 local comic shops that I get back issues from. I was able to get everything except for 2 issues. That's pretty good. So I went ahead and I picked all of those up today. Look at that glory. And this is, oh, man, and they're later issues, so I can probably start reading soon. And just get those issues when I'm actually ready for them. But look at this 90s nonsense. Once we start getting into some of the 20s, just a second here. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting into straight up deep 90s territory. Look at the hair. Look at how long his hair is. That is 90s comic hair. There is some great. Oh, this is like pinnacle 90s comic art. Aside from Liefeld, this is good bad art. This is good bad art. Liefeld stuff is just bad art. 90s art. We got some chrome. This is so good. You know, I talk about my relationships with some characters. You know, I'll pick up new runs of things. Like I mentioned when I started picking up the latest Ghost Rider and Thor. I'm like, these characters are something that Marvel is always pushing, and I want to like, but I have a hard time getting into them. Submariner, Namor, is the opposite. It's one of those characters that I think has so much more potential than what Marvel actually utilizes. Like, when's the last ongoing Namor Submariner series? It's like, was this it? Was this the 1990? Is that it? I don't know. It feels like it's been a really long time. Like, he is like their oldest character. Namor and the original Human Torch are literally the oldest Marvel characters. Why is he not front and center more often, right? Like DC, Superman, the original DC superhero, front and center all the time. Namor, like, I understand Human Torch, like, we have an updated version of Human Torch in the Fantastic Four. That I get that. He's still kind of represented. But why is Namor not more heavily utilized? I don't understand. He's such a great and interesting character that I don't think that we see him enough. So to be able to read through this 90s run, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and I'm so glad I was able to get the vast majority of it here locally to support those stores. Again, I cannot stress enough that when I did get these from local stores, I was as safe as possible. I messaged them ahead and say, hey, I'm looking for these issues. Do you have them? Whatever they had, I said, okay, I will swing by for curbside. I went curbside with my mask, my gloves, all my sanitizer, all of that. Made the exchange. I was as safe as humanly possible. They are there. Whether or not I get stuff from them, they are going to be there. I am confident in that. I have not added to any of the risk by going and getting these because of how safe I am in doing so. So please keep that in mind. I'm not going in willy-nilly, just being like, hey, what you got? Digging through your stuff, cough in your face, give me it. Here's my card, whatever. I am being safe. So I'm glad that the stores are willing to accommodate that. And I'm glad that I'm able to help them out through these times. So that's what I picked up today. That's a big week. This is a lot of stuff that I picked up, but I wanted to get all this Namor. It was across 3 shops, but I wanted to hit them all, and like, here is my chunk of Namor stuff. There you go. Awesome. All right. So next part, what am I reading this week? Again, before I can talk about what I read, what I'm reading this week, I have to talk about, was I able to meet my goals from last week, because it kind of carries forward. And surprisingly, I was. I stepped it up last week. Not only did I step it up, but unexpectedly, I had to work a good chunk of the weekend. So I was worried I wasn't going to be able to do it. I had to work an extra 12 hours over the weekend because of, that's a whole other thing, of stupid work stuff. So my amount of free time to read was cut back, but I was able to meet my goals. I didn't go over my goals, but I was able to beat them. So I did read through Lock and Key Volume 4 and 5. So this week I will read through the Lock and Key Volume 6 that I picked up today. I also got through issues 6 and 7 of Captain Carrot. So I will again add 2 more issues, 8 and 9 of Captain Carrot. So that is on the to-read list. I read through that first hardback volume of Speed Racer Mach Go 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 Volume 1. Which, by the way, I didn't know what to expect when I love Speed Racer, right? But my only knowledge of it is in the westernized cartoon, and then they also made that movie, whenever it was, somewhere in the 2000s, which, by the way, is actually incredible. If you haven't seen the Speed Racer movie, it is so good. It is so fun. It just embodies the essence of the Speed Racer cartoon, at least the westernized version. I haven't seen like original anime version of that. So I didn't really know what to expect from the original manga. It is dead on. It is so good. So if you have the chance to read any of the original Mach Go 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 manga, it is a lot of fun. It is a nice quick read, but it is so good, and I can tell that the Western animated, the Western conversion of the anime, at least really continues to capture the essence of the manga. It's really good. So I was able to get through that volume 1, so I am saying volume 2. I will add to my list. Let's see what we got here. I said I would read 10 more issues of Aquaman, so that was what, 15 through, or 16 through 25. 16 through 25, which I did. So I'm going to say at least 10 more issues of Aquaman. So we have issues 26 through 35, which takes us almost up to the halfway point of this volume of Aquaman. That's pretty quick. We're getting through it pretty quick. So 10 issues of that. Let's see what else. So I read that Spider-Man mini Redemption. It was a 4-issue limited series. That was really, it was about Kane and Ben Reilly. It was during that time, and it was a lot of fun. It was in the time where like Kane is still, like Ben Reilly is his nemesis, not for any really good reason, but basically because he's jealous. Like you ended up being the chosen one. Kane's like, I am the reject. I hate you because you are who you are, not for any real reason. And he does some pretty messed up stuff in there. But I don't know. If you haven't read it and you want to read it, it is interesting. It is good. Things end up in a good place between Kane and Ben Reilly. But I read that. So what I was going to do was pick another Spider-Man mini, but I decided to, again, take a bit of a leap. I was able to get through my escalated plan despite having to work on the weekend. So that seems to mean that I can handle even more. Also considering I only have 1 volume of Lock and Key to read, not 2 volumes of Lock and Key to read. So I am, instead of a Spider-Man limited series, I am choosing all of Spider-Man Chapter 1. So basically the retelling of Spider-Man's early adventures in that great 90s horrible style. So I'm really excited about this as well. And it looks like it gets up through meaning Sandman. That's the last issue. 12 is Sandman. And I have an issue 0, so this is 13 issues of Spider-Man Chapter 1 to read through. So this feels about even. You know, it's this instead of a Spider-Man Limited and another normal like 6-issue modern trade. So it seems like this is obtainable at this point. But I'm looking at moving forward in my progress in the actual reading through Amazing Spider-Man. So I've read through the Epic collections, the first 2 Epic collections. I want to move on to the 3rd Epic collection. But before I do that, it would be nice to get to get this sort of out of the way. Right, so I think I'm going to do this, and then very soon I also have the Untold Tales of Spider-Man, which happens during those sort of early years sort of thing. So let's get all that early time stuff and stories out of the way before I jump onto the next chunk of Amazing Spider-Man proper. Is sort of my mental justification there. So, and that seems good. That's a good chunk if we put it all on top of each other for a week. This is it. This is what I'm planning on reading, right? It seems ambitious, but also possible. So the second volume of Speed Racer, the last volume of Lock and Key, 2 issues of Captain Carrot, 10 issues of Aquaman Volume 5, and 13 issues of Spider-Man Chapter 1. That is the plan for this week. So let's see what happens. What I get through. So moving forward, well, first of all, let me know what you think. How are you doing? Is there anything that you're picking up, or what are you reading from your sort of your back stock, your to read pile? Let me know what you think about DC coming out with new issues next week, and are you planning on picking any of them up? If you are, be safe. Be safe about it. That is the most important thing. There is nothing more important than your safety and health. I know it's hard to believe. Even comics are not as important as that. But let me know what your plans are. I do have an idea for a video probably this weekend. You know that we know for a fact that after all these name wars, I definitely have enough things that need to be bagged and boarded for an episode of Baggin', Boardin', and Ramblin', and I do have a topic in mind for that. So that should be coming out this weekend. But other than that, please comment, subscribe. What's the other one? Like, comment, subscribe. Those 3. The power 3. Make sure you do those. I appreciate it. I love you. And I will see you all soon. Later. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC. How am I going to show all of these name wars in a single shot? Ugh. Oh, I'm losing them.